Hello there, guys. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. So we have our challenge starting, and with our challenge is going to come some extra video content, some extra tips, some super fun things going on. Be sure to keep your eye out if you are a challenger for weekly raffle prizes every Friday. It's snowing out. I'm just noticing the snowflakes, and I've got Christmas music on. I'm actually jetting out of the house, but I just wanted to go over some tips on looking at nutrition labels. Remember, as we go into this holiday challenge, you guys, people get scared. They tiptoe into it like, oh my gosh, what are you gonna tell me I can't eat? Guess what? I'm not gonna tell you you have to restrict anything. Nothing is off limits this holiday season. We are focusing on the habits to establish and add into our routine, the foods to add into our diet. You're going to get a lot of education, and you're just going to notice as you go through this 30-day challenge that starts tomorrow, December 1st, that you're going to be more mindful of your choices. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You guys, you gotta enjoy those candy canes and cocoa and Christmas cookies, right? So we wanna make sure that we're just being mindful of it. Accountability is huge. We've got some super people in the group chat already sharing some information. So you guys, I just wanna reiterate the fact that this is not a diet. This is not about restriction. This is about maintaining and maybe even gaining some awesome skills and tools and feeling your best in that holiday dress this holiday season, at that holiday party, feeling confident in your own skin, feeling confident in the choices that you're able to make when you do attend those holiday parties and gatherings. And there is no such thing as perfection, you guys. We're just going for those 1% betters each day. So my topic today kind of is about nutrition labels, just because it does help if you are eating more processed foods to kind of look at the label. I mean, the best foods that you can have, of course, are the foods without the labels, like the meats and the lean proteins that come from nature and fruits and vegetables. Those are ultimately the best. They are a whole food that is an ingredient instead of having an actual label. That being said, it does help when you are eating foods to look at the labels, and there are some things typically that we start looking at when we look at labels. Number one is the serving size and the calories per serving. If you're looking at a thing of mixed nuts or a package of cookies or something, check out that serving size. How many servings is one? How much is one serving? Is it 1 cup, or is it 40 grams in weight if you have a food scale? Is it half a cup? Is it a tablespoon? Eyeballing portions, you guys, can be a little tricky. By nature, as humans, we always tend to underestimate how much we're actually eating. So taking some time in the day just to see what an actual serving size is rather than eyeballing it might be no pun intended, might be an eye opener, okay? So if you're always eating peanut butter and nuts, those are all really good for you, but try to see what an actual serving size is and the number of calories that is in your actual food. That being said, calories in versus calories out, it's a complicated equation, but knowing how many calories you're taking in a day can really allow you to see where to make those small changes. If you want to maintain your weight through the holiday and not gain the holiday 10 pounds or whatever it is, you want to make sure you're eating at your maintenance level of calories. So knowing where your maintenance level is would be just to track the calories you're eating now on a regular basis, and then just cutting those calories just a tiny bit. I'm not telling you to go count every calorie during the holiday season, but taking a day here, day there, where you have your typical day, in the norm day of the life of you, see where you're at for calories and see where you can make those little tiny adjustments. Maybe you're reducing your serving size just a little bit on those things that you love. Maybe instead of eating a half sleeve or a whole sleeve of cookies, you're deciding to eat just 2 or 3 mindfully. Those times that you are paying attention to reducing calories a little bit, that's going to help you with weight loss if that's what you're looking for. Losing weight during the holiday season doesn't typically happen, and that's okay. Just maintaining where you're at, maintaining your health can really help you feel your best for the holidays. And you might be surprised with a little bit of accountability and intention and awareness, what that can do for you over the course of 30 days. The next thing to look at is your ingredients on your nutrition label. You want to make sure when you're looking at your label, of course, the fewer ingredients, the better. All ingredients that you know what they are, that you can pronounce, those are the good ingredients that you want to look for. And then, of course, like a lot of things have sneaky sugars in them and things like that. So you want to just make sure that you're looking for more minimally ingredient listed things, items. And then the next thing you want to look at are your macronutrients. So how much protein is in the food that you're eating? You want to look at your protein amount. Protein is what helps keep you full, satiated for longer. The higher protein you have in our challenge, we are challenging people to eat 35 or more grams of protein in each meal. So simply tracking your protein, even for a little bit, allows you to see what 35 grams of protein looks like in a meal, and then just trying to keep going with that, because that's going to boost your metabolism. When it does come time for dessert, or when the Christmas cookies come out, you're going to enjoy them, but you're not going to want as many because you are so full and satiated from eating plenty of protein. The other thing is carbohydrates. How many carbohydrates are in your is in your food that you're eating? Carbohydrates, I would say, probably are the easiest thing to access in the American diet. And it's easy to go overboard with it. You naturally get carbohydrates from things like fruits and vegetables, and that will give you the energy you need to sustain longer periods of feeling more energized. But that being said, you want to make sure that a lot of your carbohydrates also are coming from fiber, like fruits, like vegetables, like whole grains, things like sweet potato. Those have more fiber in them, so they keep you full for longer. They keep your digestion going. So you want to make sure you're eating more nutrient-dense carbohydrates in whole foods. But carbohydrates also come from a lot of things like added sugar. So paying attention to how many grams of added sugar, if you're looking at two things and you're comparing it, choosing the one that has less added sugar is always the better option. The other macronutrient would be your fats. You want to take a look at how much fat is in your foods. Fat adds up quick. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, so it's more than your typical carbs and protein, more calories. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that, your added sugars, your fiber intake, and then you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your sodium. So paying attention to sodium can really add up, especially in processed packaged foods, things like frozen meals, other things that come like chips. Those can really pack in the sodium, causing inflammation and weight retention. So paying attention to added sodium, make sure you're trying to stay, under 2,500 milligrams at max. And other things that have high sodium are processed packaged meats, like things like ham, or deli meats, or things like jerkies. So you just want to make sure you're paying attention to that. And lastly, you guys, don't get too obsessed over it. If you are tracking your food just for a short period or looking at your nutrition labels, you don't want to get too obsessive about it, because that is where you can establish an unhealthy relationship with food. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to these things, but not getting overly obsessed with it. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it take over. You're really just taking a rough estimate on what your intake is. That being said, in the challenge, nothing to do with the challenge we're not focusing on tracking food at all in the challenge, unless you're in my monthly coaching program. That being said, we are just focusing on some habits to get you started, focusing on hydration, adding that protein, adding lots of whole nutrient-dense foods, getting movement in. Exercise is so important. So you'll have a checklist. You're going to get points for every item you check off over the course of 30 days. And then, of course, if you want an extra tool and you do start to decide to see where you're at for your calorie intake and where you want to go with that, that's up to you. Everything is super flexible in this challenge. So That being said, you guys, I hope you enjoy. I hope you have fun. That's the whole point of it. We're gonna have some fun things going on, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of information today about looking at your nutrition labels. Take a look at them today. Pick up one thing that you eat a lot of, look at the nutrition label and see where your serving size or your portion matches up with a serving size. I hope you guys have a great day.